Big g'day and welcome to another massive edition of Beyond the Nest. My name's Yeendy. I'm joined by Lazarus, the great man, Jackie boy. He's risen from the dead this week after being just out of action with the man flu. We were planning his funeral. We were planning to donate, or we're planning to get our great sponsors, Bendigo Bank over at Trentham, to take all his money and distribute it to the YeendWednesday Football Netball Club. How you going there, mate?
Not bad, mate. As you said, I have risen, and I'm back in action. So couldn't miss the 10th episode of the podcast, mate. It's a massive edition this afternoon.
It felt like yesterday when we kicked back and we were like, right, let's have a crack. What are we going to do and what are we going to call it? We didn't know what we were going to call it, so we just did it and hope for the best, mate.
Here we are, 10 weeks later. It's absolutely flown.
Absolutely, and we're getting loads of people listening in, lots of great feedback around the region, which is great. The exclusive podcast of the YeendWednesday Football Netball Club, and look, mate, it's great that we've been able to get some sponsors on board as well. And I will, before we rip into all the excitement coming up, I will give Bendigo Bank over at Trentham a nice plug. I've done a fair bit of work with those guys over the journey, and their support towards community sport and growing community sport in the region, also out of Trentham and around the Macedon Ranges region, is second to none. And without their support to get there and provide funds and help clubs provide gear and get their juniors up on the go, it's amazing. Without sponsors like these, mate, this is a club like ours, as big as commanding as ours, would struggle.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. We love our sponsors down in there, so hopefully we can get a few more in the near future and continue to support our current ones, such as Bendigo Bank, Trentham. So really good to see those guys on the bandwagon.
Absolutely, mate. And speaking of the bandwagon, we're shaking things up here in this first term. We're getting pretty excited because we've got two junior football netball teams off in the grand final in a couple of weeks' time, mate. That was we saw some great games on Sunday. Bit of heart in your mouth stuff, but finals is well and truly here in the RDFNL Junior competition.
Yeah, it's all green lights, mate. It's all green lights, so it's exciting times for the juniors.
Yeah, let's talk up the first team that was able to make it through. The 17 and under netballers defeating Gisborne in a battle between first and second. The Hawks getting up 36-30. Gemma Baird absolutely on fire. She scored 31 goals at great accuracy. Amy Duff was outstanding, and Maddie Kleiner was also in top form. Great signs for these girls. They haven't dropped a game all year, and to win a clutch final like that one against a quality side, tremendous boost for their confidence. Yeah,
man, it's absolutely massive. And don't forget about the other Sarah Duff, the other Duff sister as well. She scored a nice little handy 5 goals as well to go along to their defeat against the Gisborne Rookies. So yeah, very positive signs for the girls there. And for more reports, she's making a nice little comeback there from the knee injury. Let's have a look at a couple of the other teams that took to the field on the weekend. Heartbreak for the 15 Bs, who trailed by 23 points at half-time against the Tigers, kicked 4 goals in the premiership quarter, but unfortunately for them, that was where it all ended for them. They went down to Lanceville 5-8-38 to 4-3-33 by 5 points. It's a tough loss for the boys, isn't it? Yeah, it's games like those are very hard to forget about. But they're only young, and there's obviously plenty of positives moving forward, coming to next season and whatnot. So as long as they can keep their heads held high and readjust in the over the pre-season if they take that seriously, and I'm sure they'll come back roaring next year.
Hopefully, a lot of these boys that had a run around on the weekend wearing the Hawks colours proudly, they'll join the 17 team next year, and it'd be great to have a 17 team on the park. 13 Bs, it was a similar story as the 15 Bs. They went down to Rupo 5-10-40 to 2-2-14. The Sharks kicked 2 goals in the third and in the last to run away with a 26-point win. Tough conditions out there over at Sunbury, Boardman Reserve number 2. But look, again, we're really proud of how these boys fought it out this year. They've got a lot of talent in there, but they're up against some good opposition every week.
Yeah, exactly right, mate. We spoke about how much of a difficult game it was going to be, and it obviously proved to be exactly that. But obviously, there's, as I've said, with all the junior sides, there's a lot of potential moving forward. So what more can you ask for, really?
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on there, mate. And the final game was probably the game of the round, I think. We'll tag it as that. The 11As had an absolute thriller in tough conditions, defeating Rupert's Wood 2-5-17 to 2 straight 12 by 5 points. The 11As are off to the big dance. Cook kicked the bag, and young Hanegraaff was outstanding on a great day for the club. Great defensive work and just great pressure around to fight off a very determined opposition in Rupo.
Exactly right, mate. It's always good to see some of our young stars, especially in Hanegraaff, proving their worth as they have throughout the year. And obviously, we're really happy for Big Jezza to find a bit more success with his young guns. So let's hope we can go all the way.
Absolutely, mate, and let's just give a big pump up to the mighty Masters as well. I don't have the results in front of me, but they did head up to Maryborough. They've only got a couple of weeks to go in their season campaign, but they do have the old barbecue, the Bunnings barbecue, on Saturday, the 10th of August. So I tell you what, this is great when. The location's fantastic. So when you're heading down to Diggers Rest over the weekend, you're going to make a pit stop at Bunnings and down at Sunbury and grab yourself a couple of snags and support these guys. I wonder if they plan that deliberately, mate, just so they could try and drag a few woodenders down the highway heading down to Diggers.
More than likely, mate. Wouldn't surprise me.
So definitely get down there in the morning, first thing Saturday morning, before you get down to the game. Show your support. Maybe they'll give you a free snag if you're wearing the club polo. And, of course, highlighting their final game of the home and away season on Saturday, August 17, the same day that the seniors host Wallen. They also play over in Bendigo from 5 p.m. So again, when you're watching the seniors hopefully have a win against the Pies, you can jump in the car and go out and support the boys up in Bendigo for the last couple of quarters and cheer them on and maybe jump on the bus ride back with them, because I know they're pretty rowdy, mate. So it'll be a fun time.
Yeah, it'll be a struggle to keep up with those blokes, I reckon, but who knows?
Absolutely. Well, we're getting very, very excited. A couple of junior teams, as we highlighted, in the grand final. Well done to all those junior teams across the year, as Matty Shanahan sort of spoke about on the sit-down, the very popular, soon-to-be award-winning sit-down a few weeks ago. Look, the build-up around this junior club is looking very promising in the coming year. So we're hoping we might be able to strike a bit of a deal to see if we can get the grand finalists to come out and be involved at the final game of the GGO for the home and away season. I think forget the seniors that are playing on the Saturday, the senior footballers and the A-grade netballers. We've got our superstars, our grand final, soon to be premier superstars in the 11As and 17 Div 1 netballers who I don't think either side haven't dropped the game all year. Look, and the beauty is, mate, we know Callie Duff, who does a lot of great work up at senior level. We know Jeremy Pennyfather, who does a lot of great work at senior level as well. It's great to see such quality people involved in juniors and seniors to really provide that link.
Yeah, exactly. And that's from top to bottom of the club as well. So we've really got like a nice little tie. I feel like all our teams within our club, they're all really well knitted and they're all really tied in together. We have a nice weave throughout the club, which is really important, and we always highlight that with that 3 Club 1 community sort of hashtag that we've been pumping up all season. So it's definitely one of the highlights of the club. From our juniors all the way up to our seniors, we all sort of correlate with one another and work to ultimately enhance the club as a whole.
And these guys and girls have done a lot of tremendous work to get our female footballers up on the go, because the Hawks, the mighty Hawkettes, in the Riddle under-18s competition, the Youth Girls under-18s had a massive win over Diggers Rest to give themselves a bit of momentum heading into finals, 9-6-60 to 1-5-11, to turn around what has been a pretty tough run in recent weeks against some quality opposition. That 49-point win led by Collins, who bagged 4, and Burke, who has played interleague footy for the AFL Goldfields team, to go out and get a best-on-ground performance. These girls have shown tremendous talent, and I know the 13s, they had a bye, but look, these two teams have been remarkable in their debut year, and we'd love to see as many people get behind them as possible, particularly this Sunday.
Yeah, for sure, and obviously women's footy is sort of starting to take off now, especially down at Kyneton. The Kyneton girls have sort of found a lot of success since they've sort of been brought into the world of footy, so we're hoping that the same thing will happen with our Hawkettes. So all eyes on our Wood End girls.
Absolutely, and a reminder for this weekend's fixture. Obviously, we've got senior games happening at Diggers Rest on the Saturday, but on Sunday, keep your backside trackside. Get your backside down to the Racecourse Reserve. The Riddle under-18 youth girls will take on Bacchusmarsh from 10:30pm, and then the 13s will take on Bacchusmarsh from 12pm. And no doubt they'll be looking forward to running out of the rooms, which has been recently crowned the Gary Joel Dwyer Pavilion. That is magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, they've made the doorway about 8 feet high, apparently. So it's a doorway made for a giant, so I've heard. I haven't met the guy personally, but he seems like he's a pretty bit of a mountain.
Oh, well, he got the nickname Joel because of his height, and of course Joel Garner, who was a massive, super electrifying fast bowler for the West Indies in the 1980s. So that's how he got his nickname there, or Big Bird as he can go by as well. So he's been around. He's been living in Wood End for as long as I can remember. His contribution to junior footy has been fantastic. His son Paddy Dwyer played a fair bit of footy for Wood End through the junior system and even into senior level. So they're very well entrenched in the Wood End culture, the Dwyer family, which is fantastic, and a very well-deserved effort, and all the work he's been doing for Auskick for more than a dozen years, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's always good to see some club figures get the recognition they deserve, and we've really been making a thing of that this year from what I've been witnessing while I've been a part of the club. So yeah, it's good to give those gems some recognition.
You're spot on there, mate. Thanks to our friends at Bendigo Bank over at Trentham, doing a magnificent job. If you're looking to buy a new house, definitely get your loan through them. Definitely a wise choice if you can bank with them. Coming up next, though, it's going to be our soon-to-be award-winning, well, perhaps after this edition of the show, where the great man Lazarus across from me will be chatting with the great man Rupert Miranda to talk up what is happening over at the reserves as they get set for a massive final series. Coming up next after this break.
Hey, Gary, what time you call this?
Yeah, the traffic was really bad. Oh, there's Steve-o. G'day, Steve.
Morning.
How's your weekend?
Same old, same old.
What'd you get up to?
Not much. Are you okay, mate? Mateship is a 4-letter word, and those 4 letters are you okay? They're easy to say, and to some people they can be life-changing. For more information, visit ruok.org.au.
Wood End Heskett Football Netball Club sponsor, Naturaform, is a true leader in urban landscape. With more than 35 years of experience, they always provide innovative and cost-effective solutions for large and diverse clients, for private and public sector clients, and have experience in working with city and regional councils and educational organisations. Naturaform specialises in 3 pillars of business: landscape, building and civil. The team have offices in Melbourne and Queensland and have a stunning portfolio of work that has spanned key development areas, specialised projects, master planned communities, public realms and recreational projects. The list goes on. Do yourself a favour and check out their great website to see their amazing work that will no doubt inspire you and leave you breathless. Check them out online, natureform.com.au. Natureform is a proud sponsor of the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club.
So here we are for the next episode of the Sitdown. I've taken the role from Yeendy this week, and I'm currently sitting here with big Rupert Miranda. We're just going to chat a few things in relation to the final 2 rounds of the year for the Resi's footy boys and the run home to finals. So, big Rupert, how we going, mate?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Not too bad. How's the ankle?
Yeah, it's definitely been better, but she's be cherry ripe for finals, and that's the main thing.
That's the So what happened? You've gone down?
I've got shot in the ankle, and
snipers in the bush?
Yeah, snipers in the bush, just a bit of a roll, but she'll be right, no damage, so...
That's all you can ask. So you've gone to the doctors, got you all clear?
Yeah, got the x-rays all clear, so...
Very nice. So, coming off the win of Romsey, how do you think the boys went during the Redbacks?
We probably didn't play as strongly as we would have hoped, and they definitely were a lot stronger than we thought they would be, but credit to the boys, there's probably a 10-15 minute period in the second quarter where we polled on 5 or 6 goals, and that was just sort of the buffer for the rest of the game. They couldn't get any closer than that, which, basically set up the win for us, and yeah, it was a hard fought-out day, and it was a good win.
Yeah, so do you think there's a lot of... Obviously, last time we versed Diggers, we've obviously spoken as a team, and you've all sort of agreed that Diggers would probably be the number 1 team in the league in terms of on-field dominance compared to Wallen, would you say? Yeah,
having played Wallen and Diggers both, we definitely thought Diggers were the stronger side. I think when we played Diggers, we had 14 scoring shots, kicked 2 12, and I think they had 13 scoring shots and kicked 8 goals, 4 or something like that. So just their accuracy let us down that day. And when we played Wallen at Wallen, we went down by 12 points with only having 20 on, only down to 1 rotation towards the end of the game. So definitely, I think our next 2 weeks definitely massive for us. In terms of, Wallen haven't lost yet, and Diggers haven't lost anyone but Wallen, so it'd be really good finals practice for us to play both those sides before we head into finals.
Yeah, for sure, and especially that last week against Wallen, we've sort of been pumping up on the podcast a lot as sort of like the biggest round of the year and the biggest game of the year, seeing as it's twilight, and it's going to affect finals quite a bit as well. So you want to obviously come off these last 2 games, that last game against Wallen in particular, you want to come off that game with a lot of confidence heading into finals. Yeah,
that's it. And look, they're both very strong sides, but we, at full strength, we genuinely can beat both these sides, which, it'd be nice to knock both of them off, but we'd be very happy with just beating one, or just to get a good bit of finals practice into the boys before we, play them for the grand final or to get into the granny or whatever. So.
Yeah, and I mean, last time you versed Wallen, I remember there was a lot, you had Maxie went down, Bergs was out with the same thing, they both did the groin. I think there were a couple of others as well, so it's good in the next few weeks as well, getting, B-Dog back, getting settled back into the team, Robbie, just getting a lot of those young midfielders and players back into the side, which will obviously help heading into finals, Zachy Watkins as well. And as I've been saying to Bergs a lot lately, I think one of the strongest elements of the team would probably be Maxie and Mido's sort of forward chemistry. I reckon that's been massive. They've been kicking bags every week. So
yeah, they've been working really well together. Mido didn't kick as many on the weekend, but the 3 weeks before that, I think between them they kicked 10 each week. So which couldn't ask for much more than that. And they both think, we got people like Jesse Waters, Zachy Watkins, Benny Blackton, who are all sort of just been struggling to get games in due to work and family commitments, who, come finals time now obviously will be playing all their games for us, which is really helpful.
Yeah, so there's obviously a lot of potential moving forward into the finals. So hopefully these last 2 games will be massive, and we can hopefully upset, as you said, ideally 1, but if we could get the 2 wins, that'd be massive. So All eyes on the Reggie's boys come finals time.
Last year, safety barriers were hit more than 3,200 times. When a safety barrier is hit, it catches your vehicle like a net, slows you down and prevents you from hitting a tree or oncoming traffic, saving your life and potentially others. And I should know, because that's exactly how it saved mine.
Safety barriers save lives, getting us towards zero.
Wood End Heskett Football Netball Club sponsor L&L Smash Repairs specialise in panel beating, smash repairs, spray painting and vehicle upgrades. When it comes to fixing your vehicle, L&L Smash Repairs understands the importance of using state-of-the-art technology and having a team of friendly and knowledgeable staff. No one wants to be in an accident. However, when it does happen, you can trust L&L Smash Repairs to ensure that repairing your car is smooth and effortless for you. They will repair your vehicle to the manufacturer's standards to make sure that your safety is not compromised in any way. Laurie and the team will have your car looking as good as new. For more details, jump online, lnlsmash.com.au. L&L Smash Repairs, proud sponsors of the Wood End Heskett Football Netball Club. Back to Beyond the Nest. Thanks to our great mates over at Bendigo Bank over at Trentham. Do a great job down there. They support us and we'll support them. Jackie boy, it was an interesting day of results against Romsey on the weekend. I know you were too busy trying to rise from the dead, but let's talk about the senior game to start off with in the football. It was a tough result for the boys, going down in a testing effort by 48 points, 14-11-95 to 8-9-57. But the Hawks were up at half time, 6 goals to 5. And many sort of felt that this was the best first half they'd played all year, and fittingly enough against the quality side.
Yeah, I had a chat with a couple of the blokes on Tuesday night training. I had to speak to had a chat with Liam Bianco, and he sort of said that it was probably the best footy they've played all year. They really took it up to him, particularly in that first half. And then obviously, as the score reflected, they sort of probably got to kick up the butts at half time, I reckon, the Redbacks, and they definitely adjusted in the third quarter, and they as you said, they went on to win quietly, comfortable. But obviously, that first half definitely shows a lot of promise moving forward for the senior group. Obviously, we had a couple of individual goal scorers, which is sort of becoming a bit of a thing, which is really good. And Brammer's best on ground, which is great. Along with Adams and Peardy, which is always good to see a couple of familiar faces in those top three best on ground positions. Definitely a mixed bag of emotions in regards to that seniors game, I would have thought.
You're spot on there, mate. And it was great to see Al Ray, the whiz, get a goal on the board. And I think in the bigger picture, he was wearing the 0 on his back as the captain. Of course, the club doing its bit to get behind the Beyond Zero campaign as part of the TAC Cup. As part of the TAC. And so it's great to see he personally sort of rallying behind wearing that 0, and it's such a great campaign to get behind, particularly in country areas, mate. We want to see more of this from clubs. We're seeing actually a great effort from clubs right across the region getting behind this, and not only promoting the message, but also some extra funding will come their way, but it's the key message is getting put out, which is pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's all you want from a foundation like this, and an incentive like the TAC Beyond Zero thing. So it's always good to raise awareness for stuff like that and really smash it out of the ballpark.
Speaking of smashing out of the ballpark, our president, Paul Podbury, had a day out kicking 2 goals and was best on ground in a match-winning performance as the Hawks defeated Romsey in the reserves 13-9, 87 to 8-7, 55. We did expect that the Hawks were going to come out and win this. I think battle between 4th and 6th. So to come out and have a good, solid performance like that is impressive. And our boy Maxi Ambler kicking 4 goals, and your mate Middo also kicking a couple.
Yeah, mate. I've been talking about this this forward chemistry between Middo and Maxi flat stick the last few weeks, and they just continue to prove my point. They're unstoppable, and I think they're going to be a massive force into the finals. But touching on Podsy as well, I've heard he kicked the 2 goals that got the BOG in a matter of probably about 5-6 minutes game time as per usual. So he goes on for a few minutes, comes off, does his stuff with the seniors, and gets the chocolates most weeks. So he's an absolute weapon. Oh,
geez, and he damn plays it as well. You speak to him about it and goes, "Oh yeah, I got a couple of kicks." And
I like to refer to him as he's like a bar of soap. he's a very slippery. He's very hard to tackle. He's an absolute beast, and I can't imagine how good he would have been when he was younger.
Did you know that he's actually got football royalty in his family?
I wouldn't have a clue, mate.
All right, I'm going to give you some history because it is a freakishly small world. I've dabbled in a little bit of footy commentary up here since I've been in this lovely part of the world, and I had the pleasure of calling his uncle, or the coach, or the team that he's coached on the weekend, which has. For those playing at home, Mitchie Robertson from the Brisbane Lions, his wife plays in the ruck, Emma O'Neill, and she's an absolute gun. Anyway, that's beside the point, but she's fantastic. Good to see Robbo there on the weekend as well with his kids having a good time. But Rod Podbury, or the older Pods, Paul's uncle, is a new AFL Sydney Hall of Famer. He is an AFL Sydney 4-time league best and fairest, including winning a league best and fairest in a year where his team finished bottom of the ladder and he still won the best and fairest. That was just how good Rod is. So if our Pods is getting a few kicks around the track for having 3 or 4 minutes here or there, that's the footy blood, the footy talent is flowing through the veins beautifully.
It's interesting, very interesting. I didn't know that, but you could watch Podsy run around the field all day. If he could run around the field all day, I'm sure he would. But he's a very nifty player, and we're very lucky to have him playing reserves footy, let alone ones footy.
With this pump up, he's actually going to cancel our subscription for the podcast and make sure it never is revived again now.
Probably wouldn't.
Now, back to the under-19 halves as they played out at Arnold's Creek, and it was a very frustrating day for the Hawks against the far superior Melton Central's outfit, who prevailed by 56 points, 11-13, 79 to 2-11, 23. It's frustrating for this group of 19 and a halves because when they're playing really good footy, like they beat Rupert's Wood, the only team to beat Rupert's Wood this year, and they have lost to a team that we expected, and probably they did as well, to actually beat on the day.
Yeah, it is very difficult. And obviously, there's a lot of talent in that side as well. So when you're losing games that you would probably expect to win, that's a bit of a kick in the stomach, especially when you're kicking 2 goals 11. That hurts. That definitely hurts, and that's obviously been a bit of an issue. That chucker will probably highlight at training, which I'll probably hear from 100 metres away.
Yeah, of course.
But no, it's good to see the usual guns getting up. You know, Jeffy Fox, Lockie Randall Hewitt, Big Dumps as well. So a lot of those boys still playing good footy, but it's not about the individual efforts at the end of the day. It's about the team effort, and it doesn't seem like these guys have gelled together as well as they would have liked and as well as they were to kick-start the season. But hopefully they can readjust and figure out what the issue is come finals time, so we can have a nice sort of premiership burst.
Well, they've certainly got a couple of big weeks coming up because they do take on Diggers Rest and Wallen, who were sort of in the bottom half of the finals, the race towards the finals. So they need to reverse that form around and take nothing away from the Centrals. I've seen them once this year, those group of players, and they are extremely gifted. I'm really as a footy fan, I'm really excited personally to see a lot of these younger kids step up to play more regular senior footy in the years to come over at Melton Centrals to make them a finals team. That's the quality of these kids. So probably not surprised by the result given the talent in the Centrals team, but given the form and just how important these games are, the Hawks, they need to get some form going before finals.
Yeah. And it's not a matter of being surprised at the result, it's just disappointed in the result, I think. I sound like a disappointed parent. I'm not Maddie, I'm disappointed in you sort of thing, but no, I think there's a lot of talent there, and I'm sure they'll figure out what the issue is, and they'll come together as a group. They seem like a real tight knit group of young lads that are really good friends with each other. So hopefully they can obviously readjust ASAP.
You're spot on there, mate. Now, we'll turn our attention to netball because we did see some magnificent efforts over the weekend across the games. We had the results that were split, but let's turn our attention to A grade first off. And the Hawks went down to Romsey by 23 goals, which for the reigning grand finalists, that is an exceptional effort. But the highlight for me on the day was seeing Emily Lindner make her debut at A grade level and score 11 goals. I think she shot with tremendous accuracy as well. But 23 goals against a quality outfit like Romsey, and to have such a young team, like you've got Maddie, you've got, I think Abby's younger as well, Gracie and Sarah and still Em, inexperienced. Like, I know Maddie's got a few years of experience, but then we've got what's her name, Watkins down in the back, in the back half, who's been playing forward a little bit lately. Like, such a young list, and to take this Romsey outfit, star-studded outfit, to 23 goals, we'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah, definitely. We always harp on about taking the positives from every situation, and obviously a quality outfit like Romsey, you want to obviously take all the lessons you can learn from a game like that and put it into your own game come finals time. So hopefully they were keeping a very the coaching staff, hopefully they were sort of keeping an eye on how the team was operating, and they can learn a few tricks come finals.
A testament to their hard work there. In B grade, it was a different result. Romsey were just too strong, winning 50-21 by 29 goals. I think it was a battle between one of the Wood End Hesker sitting second bottom from the ladder. I think Romsey were second on the ladder. So it was a tough day, but our girl Taylor Bowen, absolutely on fire. How she hasn't played A grade netball this year and knocked Britt down to C grade is beyond my knowledge, but the coaches they're just preparing Taylor for to win the Ryan medal next year, so that's the expectation now. I'm putting it on her, but it's a tough day at the office, but a few positives as well.
Yeah, exactly right. And I am getting a little bit confused with this Bowen conversation. I'm not sure if I feel like last week it was Brittany the better Bowen. Now it's Taylor Bowen. They're taking turns each week, mate. They're deciding who's going to step up. You just whoever plays good, you'll just jump on the bandwagon and follow that until the next sister turns it up. So
hey, I'm team Tay all the way, all the way. I've got to. Her
you'll be team Brittany. I'm guessing. I'm putting my money on it now. She's tied up beautifully with one of the birthday boys of this week, Mr. Gove, Ethan Gove, whose badge still hangs proudly on my fridge. One of my boys. So I'm team Tay all the way. If nothing will change that. So, but next week will be just because of Gove, is it?
Absolutely. No, absolutely not. No.
I hope he hears that.
I'm Team Govey all the way for the birthday boy. 25 years old this week.
I didn't think he was that old, to be honest. I thought he was a bit younger, but oh well.
Oh, well, he'll take that as a compliment, mate.
I'm sure he will.
C-grade netball, the Hawks got up over Romsey 39-29. Louise Miranda's on fire, 36 goals, 36 out of 39.
Massive.
Oh, she's been in incredible form over recent weeks. Just lethal accuracy, got strong hands. You can tell this team is ready to play finals. It's just getting that momentum ready, and they're going to be set for a great campaign.
Yeah, we love our C-grade girls, mate.
They're on fire. I don't know if we love them as much as our 19 girls, because they just put the foot down.
Debatable.
78-12, 66-point win. Gemma Baird, 52 goals on the Saturday, and then rolled up to the second semi on the Sunday and scored a lazy 31. So 83 goals in 24 hours for Gemma is just making her the one of the hottest properties down at Hawkland at the moment. But 52 from 78, not a bad effort there, and the Hawks just flexing their muscles.
Yeah, mate. Now, our girl, Emma Cogger, she slipped in. She's got a message.
Yeah.
A mention, sorry. Yep, she's got the one goal. But her name is on the list at the end of the day, so I'm not gonna complain with that.
Yep, absolutely. She's had an outstanding year, and Sarah Duff having her best game since returning from injury, scoring 25 goals to go with 33 for the day after scoring a handful of goals in A grade. As it is 3/4 time here on Beyond the Nest. You've been listening to Jackie Boy, you've been listening to Yeendy, and coming up next, thanks to our friends at Bendigo Bank over in Trentham, we'll be giving you our tips and who will win and why with our senior games right after this. Buffalo Sports is proudly supporting the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club. Established in 1972, the Buffalo Sports brand has now grown to be recognised and trusted worldwide. They manufacture an extensive range of products using the highest quality materials. Their product range covers all sports, specialising in the manufacturing of balls, hardware, clothing and protective equipment to meet your needs, with over 5,000 different items available. They are the leaders in constantly changing the world of sporting goods and always developing more products. For more information, jump online, buffalosports.com.au. Buffalo Sports, proud sponsors of the Woodend Heskett Football Netball Club. Welcome back to Beyond the Nest. Thanks to our awesome friends over at Bendigo Bank over in Trentham. Love their tremendous support. My name's Yeendy, but I'm joined by Lazarus himself this week, Jackie Boy.
Lazarus, where'd you get that from?
Oh, Lazarus rose from the dead, mate. Just like you have to be here this week.
I mean, I would have happily taken Jesus Christ, but might be pressing the buttons a little bit there.
Magnificent, mate. Now, you have risen to prominent levels as we hope our We'll talk up our netballers first. They've got a big game. The 19 and under girls, they do take on Diggers Rest. It is second on the ladder versus them on sitting in ninth on the ladder. A good finals shape up, or good chance to shape up towards the finals, because Wallen will be awaiting the girls the following week for a spot in the determine who will perhaps finish in the top two. But a win here from the Hawks may very well seal their fate, but it will come down to the game against Wallen, to who plays Rupo. But this is a great chance to continue that great form they established over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. And the games like this are always a nice little warm-up game. You want to take a lot of confidence out of these games, and that's going to be the case for the majority of these matchups on the weekend across the entire club. It's going to be a massive game for the netball girls in particular to take a bit of confidence into that last round against Wallen, and obviously have a nice big final surge.
Absolutely. We take nothing away from Diggers Rest. What they've been able to achieve this year at 19's level is outstanding. But if we had to call a spade, the Woodend Heskett girls have been the second best team in the comp all year. So they've certainly shown that across most of their games. It's going to be a big performance. Speaking of big performance, we've got C-grade netball action, and look, this is going to be an absolute nail-biter, because it's the Hawks sitting in 6th place, taking on Diggers Rest sitting in 2nd place. There's only sort of 10 points separating the two, but we've been calling it for a few weeks, mate. We've sort of tipped that the game against Wallen next week will determine who makes finals, and I think with the way the fixture's going, the Hawks, if they win this, well, they might be all right. It's still going to be a tough one.
Yeah, so it's obviously a lot of pressure on the C grade girls this week to stand up and have a massive performance. It's going to be a big round of netball, I reckon. So hopefully the C grade girls can prove their worth against the Diggers Rest Boroughs. So
yeah,
fingers crossed.
You're spot on there, mate. And I think it will come down, regardless, I think, of how the results are going to play out. The Wallen game the following week is going to be the one that does it, because Wallen are playing Riddle. Now, Riddle are 10 points behind, and so we've got Wallen and Wood and Heskett on 40 points each. Riddle are down in 8th position. They're sitting on 30 points. Based on form and ladder positions, Wallen will win that. The Hawks will probably slip out. I think it's going to be a tough one against Diggers Rest. It'll be a great win if they can pull it off. Broadford play Lansfielder on the bottom of the ladder. So Broadford, based on ladder positions and who's playing who, Broadford will move Wood End, which means that it will. And Broadford have the bye. Keeping on, Broadford do have the bye in the final round of home and away season. So they win this week. They get an automatic 4 points. They're sitting on 36 points at the moment. They're going to get 44 points, and they've got better percentage than Wallen and Wood and Heskett. So regardless of what happens, I think this week Hawks will probably slip out. They beat Wallen in the final game of the home and away season. They make final. So it doesn't matter the percentage or anything like that. That's just how it plays out. So I believe I might be wrong on that one though. But
I don't doubt your stats, mate. You're absolutely elite with your predictions and your little finals trees. So. Well, I'm sure you've got it correct, and if you didn't, you made it sound like you did. So.
Thanks, mate. Well,
that's all you can do.
let's just hope that the girls can battle away and have a good performance.
Yeah, exactly.
So it would be great if they could have a win too. It's Hawks fans, we love it. Then across up to B grade, the Hawks are a chance to cause a few, ruffle the feathers a little bit. They do take on 6th place Diggers Rest. We're on 32 points. The Hawks are sitting on 10th place with 20 points. Again, just another tough effort, and the girls just need to dig deep, like they did on the weekend against Romsey, who was second on the ladder.
Exactly right, mate. Just perform as well as you can, have fun, and obviously look to building a nice season come 2020. So, yeah, fingers crossed for those girls, and hopefully they can cause a nice little upset.
And mathematically, it is still possible for the A-grade side to make finals. That loss against Melton Centrals a couple of weeks back definitely did hurt the squad's aspirations. So that would have put them just percentage out of the top 6. They do take on Diggers Rest, who are sitting in 5th position again. Hawks get up, moves them up to 30 points. Wallen beat Riddle, and I'm not sure who Rockbank play off the bat, but if Riddle go down, the Hawks cause a bit of an upset. They do beat Diggers, then we basically need to win and make up a whole heap of percentage against Wallen, and Riddle will need to get pants by Romsey by a fair bit of percentage for the girls to sneak in. But to get as close as they have so far, even if they miss out by a percentage or even one game, look, this year's a big win for them.
Yeah, and especially because they've had so many young girls step up and fill these massive voids. It's such a testament to the youth that within the netball realm, and obviously a lot of those A-grade girls that have been playing A-grade for a while now. So a lot of consistency with that group of girls, and obviously there's a lot of potential moving forward. So definitely some positive signs. And as you said, there is a chance at making finals, and I'm sure that they'll be pushing for that as hard as they can.
Very well said, mate. Under 19.5s footy, the Hawks coming off the back of a disappointing loss to the rampaging Melton Central's outfit. They take on Diggers Rest. This is a battle between second and third. My tip is perhaps whoever wins this will get the double chance. The Hawks, they've just got to throw the kitchen sink on this and really bounce back after last week.
Yeah, I think they've got to grit the teeth and just want to win it. Especially after kicking 2-11, I I'd expect them to have a bit of additional goal kicking practice in their own time. Well, I'd at least hope so. This week at the track, pre-training on Thursday and then post-training Thursday, before they have a nice feed in the club room, which I'm sure will be very nice, as it always is. Hopefully, there's some gravy on the plate for me. But, yeah, I'm sure the Chucker will throw the hammer down and they'll throw the kitchen sink out the window, as you said. So hopefully these 19 boys can prove us wrong and prove me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. We just want them to work hard and dig deep, particularly heading into finals. Reserves football, it's a battle between second and third. Diggers Rest in second position, having only dropped the one game this year. It's the next few weeks are going to be like mini-finals for the Hawks. They do take on the top two sides in the competition, both of which they've got close to throughout the year. And I know with Wallen, I don't think any other side has challenged them much like the Hawks. So they're going to a big game against the Borough where they will... they hope to win. They've been in some pretty good form. Diggers Rest have been in some magnificent touch as well. But we just want to show the same display against them that we had earlier on in the year where we got within, I think, 4 goals of them. So just to be competitive and gear up over the next couple of weeks.
And keep in mind as well, when we versed these top two sides earlier in the year, we had some massive outs, and we had a lot of players that are playing now that weren't a part of the team in the first half of the year, obviously. So now we've got Styles in, we've got B-Dog coming back into the side, we've got Chettle and Robbie back. Obviously, there's a few little injury concerns in Stevie Burgess, Timmy Sedella, and hopefully Rupert can get up this week, but I'm not sure. He should. I don't know. I think he's going to. The way he said it in the interview, it seemed as though it's all right, but you know what he's like. He'll push through whether it's killing him or not. So Zachy Watkins is clear to play all from now until finals and through finals as well. So yeah, there's a lot of skill and talent, serious talent, coming back into the reserve side at the right time of the season.
Yeah, exactly. It's the side has certainly transformed and performed well over the last sort of month or so and getting really into a big shape towards finals. So looking at that game with great interest. And the final game of the home and away season, for the final game of the round, I should say, the Hawks they're playing Diggers Rest. So it's been a bit interesting over the last couple of weeks. They've played the top two sides. Well, as the letter stands at the moment, the top three sides in the competition with Wallen in the following week. But they certainly gave the Redbacks a good push in that first half, who's sitting comfortably on top of the ladder at the moment. I should say comfortably, but they're sitting on top of the ladder. So we get back to playing some of that football. Diggers Rest always find the Hawks very intimidating. Just across the board, we see some great matches between the pair. This is going to be an important game where the Hawks will try and work towards finishing the season on a high note. Yeah, for sure. And I think they would have taken a lot of confidence and a lot of positives from the way they played last week. Although the second half, didn't reflect an even contest on the scoreboard from what I've seen on the stat chart, but obviously that first half leading at half time against a team like Romsey would be is a pretty good effort. So I'm sure they'll be pretty excited to try and top a side like Diggers Rest again this week and see if they can sort of take that same momentum into these last two games. One thing we'll sort of take, I guess, a little bit of confidence in is that Diggers Rest currently rank 5th in attack in the competition and 6th in defence. So they're not a high-scoring team, and they do bleed a little bit when the opposition does get a little bit of a run on. So there's still a little bit of faith of the Hawks to be able to do that, who currently rank 7th in the competition in attack. So 7th and V5th, there's not too much separating the two. I know it's certainly something that they can sort of hopefully keep their heads up high and maybe work to their advantage.
Yeah, exactly right. We've got a lot of gun power up forward as well. We've got Thropper, we've got Wiz. When Thropper's at 40, he's an absolutely dominant beast. I think he's been playing a bit more versatile the last few weeks from what I've seen, but yeah, there's a lot of, obviously Toey's been sitting up half forward a lot lately as well, and then obviously Liam Bianco sometimes rolls back as well down the forward line, and there's a lot of goal kicking potential if the ball is being delivered with quality as well. So hopefully we can see some of that this week, and you never know what could happen.
Absolutely spot on there, mate. It's all shaping up to be a great finale towards the end of the home and away season, with up to 3 teams playing finals. Hopefully 4 teams playing finals in 2019, so 4 of 7's a magnificent effort. And obviously we tip our hats off to the under 11A's junior footballers and the 17 Div 1 netballers who are playing in grand finals on Sunday week. So look, and of course we can't forget the under 18 female footballers as well. They'll be playing finals. They will play in week 1 of the finals at the very least. We're really excited to get behind them. So get down to the race course and have a snag in front of the Joel Dwyer Pavilion and watch the girls from 10:30 a.m. with the 18s, and followed by the 13s in the final round of the home and away season for the girls. It's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, massive day on the track for those guys, mate. It's going to be huge.
And of course, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the huge support of the Bendigo Bank over at Trentham. Jackie boy, thanks so much for joining us, mate, and we're pretty pumped to catch up with you next week. We're going to have to find a new nickname for you now that you've risen.
We do, mate. It was a nice episode, to cap off the obviously the 10th edition of Beyond the Nest, and hopefully we can get a few more under our belts in the coming seasons, mate. So hopefully this takes off a little bit more, and hopefully we've engaged a lot of listeners, and yeah.
Absolutely, mate. Well, while you're shoveling snow on the weekend, I'm going to be kicking back in my footy shorts and sitting back and watching some footy out on the deck, out on the grass. I'll be getting
I say something nice, and that's what I get in return.
I'll be getting a tan on, mate. I got a little bit of sunburn on the weekend, so yeah, I'm looking a lot tan at the moment. It feels like I've been on a 3-month holiday, so you guys are as white as ghosts. So happy days.
I've been on a holiday.
Absolutely, mate. Thanks to our friends at Bendigo Bank over at Trentham. This has been the latest edition of Beyond the Nest. We look forward to catching up with you next week.